Good evening, students. In the last session, up to we discussed in AWS S3, we are discussed. After the concepts we are discussed till now in the AWS, we discussed about how to create the bucket, that is bucket creation and deletion and deletion. And also we are discussing uploading uploading the objects into the bucket, and and deletion. And also we are discussing static web hosting, static web hosting, and storage classes, storage classes, bucket versioning feature, and also we discussed replication. Yesterday session we discussed in replication. We discussed same region replication and cross region replication. Here in same region replication, I explained it. I am given the task for the student. We have to do it for cross region replication. Cross region replication. And also in yesterday session, we discussed transfer acceleration. Transfer acceleration. Transfer acceleration. Those concepts up to now we are discussed. Now, in this session, we are going to discuss the concepts. We are going to discuss the concept of access control list, access control list. That is, we are discussed ACL, access control list, encryption. We discussed metadata, metadata and tags, metadata and tags. And also we discussed about bucket policy, bucket policy. Those concepts were discussed today class. Access control list, encryption, metadata and tags, and bucket policies. These concepts one by one we have to discuss now. Now we are going to discuss the first concept in this session is this one. First we are discussing access control list. Access control list. We are discussed. Access control list. The relevant PPTs are also I uploaded. Relevant PPTs are also I uploaded in your Google Drive link. In your Google Drive link, we observe and we have to follow the steps. We have to follow the steps. Those are the steps we have to follow. Access control list. That is, the access control list are used to grant basic read or write permission to give for the bucket or the object to give grant basic read or write permission on resources to another AWS account. Another AWS account. For that, we are using access control list are used. Access control list are used. The key features for the access control list is each bucket and object has access control list associated with it. We apply access control list at bucket level. We apply access control list at object level also. An access control list is a list of grants for basic read or write permissions, identifying grantee and also permission granted. You are given the permission. You are given the permission that is for read or write permissions. Read or write permission. So to give other AWS account, it is recommended to use the canonical user ID, as email address would not be supported. I'll tell you how we have to give the canonical user ID for your account. For your account, I told that the access control list has to apply at the bucket level and also at the object level. At the object level. First, I'm creating the bucket. I had to open my AWS account. I had to open my AWS account, sign into the console, enter the password, sign in. I have to go for the services or whatever recently visited services they are available here. I'm using the S3. S3. We can apply access control list at object level and also at bucket level. And also at bucket level. First, I had to apply at object level. To apply access control at object level, that is to give the permission for read and write permissions. Access control list are used for to give the permission for read and write. For that, we are using access control list. First, I had to apply the access control list at object level. Later, I apply the access control list at the bucket level. At the bucket level. Now, first I had to create the bucket. I had to create the bucket, that is with my name. I am given the ACL access control list. Sheshadri access control list. Bucket name I am given. Bucket name I am given. I am choosing the region. Mumbai region I am chosen. Scroll down. We had to enable ACLs is enable. Scroll down. We had to remove the tick mark here. Scroll down. Put the acknowledgement. Scroll down and click on create bucket. Click on create bucket. The bucket is created with my name. Sheshadri ACL, the bucket is created. Right now, right now, there is no objects are there in this bucket. I am not uploading any objects in the bucket. I am not uploading any objects in the bucket. Any objects in the bucket. Now, I want to upload. I want to upload the objects in the bucket. I want to upload the objects in the bucket. Upload option, add file. I am choosing the desktop. In desktop, Vardhaman College folder is there. Click on that. Click on that. I am choosing the coffee image. Open this. Open this. I am not given any permission. I am not given any permission. We can upload the object. We can upload the object. See here, in my bucket, I am uploading the object. I am uploading the object. I copy object URL. I am send it in the chart window, the object URL. You copy and paste it in the browser. Copy and paste it in your browser. See here, you are getting the result. No, you are not getting the result. You are not getting the result. Why? Because you are not enabling permission the public read access. Public read access. Public read access. We are not enabled. We are not enabled. For that, for that, we go for we have to open the bucket. You have to open your object. Open your object. Here the tabs are there. Properties tab is there. Permissions tab is there. Versions tab is there. We have to choose the permissions tab. We have to choose the permissions tab. We can click on edit option. We can click on edit option. Here we have to put the tick mark. Read. Read. Everyone public access. Everyone public access. And put the tick mark for this one. Put the tick mark for this one. I am given the permission for this object, read object, read object, whatever, if you know the object URL, you can paste it in your browser also. You are getting the result. You are getting the result. That is, this is my account ID. This is my AWS account ID. This is my AWS account ID. This is my AWS account ID number. I want to give the permission, the same bucket to another person AWS account. For that also, that is access for other AWS account. Access for other AWS account. We can click on add grantee. Add grantee. Here we have to enter other person AWS account, other user AWS account, canonical ID we have to enter. Canonical ID we have to enter. How we can find out the canonical ID? How we can find out the canonical ID? We can click on at the right side top, click on your account, choose security credentials, choose security credentials, wait, choose security credentials, security credentials. See here, this is your AWS account ID. This is my AWS account ID. This is my account canonical user ID. Similarly, if I know other person, other AWS account canonical ID, we can take this one. This is the canonical ID. This is the canonical ID. Here, you need to enter. You need to enter the canonical ID here. Canonical ID here. For other AWS account, we are given the permission for the object read permission. We'll put the tick mark. If you want to give the permission for the other AWS account, both read and write permission, we'll put the tick mark for these two. We'll put the tick mark for these two. If you want to add the another account also, you want to give the permission to your bucket, read and write permission to other account, we can click on add grantee. We have to enter other account canonical ID. We have to put the tick mark for reading and writing or only for read option. We can click on it. I don't want to give the permission for particular account number. In earlier, we are given the account number. In the earlier, we are given the permission for that particular account. Now I want to delete it. We can remove. We can remove. Right now, I don't know other user account canonical ID. That's why I am not given. I am not given. I am not given. Only I am given this one. That is in my account. If you know the object URL, you have to copy and paste the object URL. We can see the result. We can see the result. We can put the tick mark here. We can put the tick mark here. Scroll down. Click on save changes. Click on save changes. Now we have to refresh your browser. Refresh your browser. You got the result. You got the result. This is you are getting the result. Okay. This is I apply the access control list at the object level. Access control list for the object level I am given. Object level permission I am given. Now I need to apply access control list at the bucket level. At the bucket level. Click on your bucket. Open your bucket. Open your bucket. This is my bucket. Here bucket tabs are there. Object tab, properties tab, permissions tab, metrics tab, management tab, access points tab. You have to choose the permissions tab. You have to choose permissions tab here. Permissions tab here. See that the access objects can be public. objects can be public. It is showing objects can be public. Why? Because on that object we are given as a public. We are given as a public. Now we have to choose. We have to choose the permissions tab. Permissions tab. Now after that we can click on. We can click on. We can click on edit option. Edit option, not this one. Okay. In your bucket, go for the permissions tab. Go for the permissions tab. Go for the permissions tab. Properties. This is the properties tab. Okay. Go to permissions tab, and then here access control list is there. Access control list is there. Scroll down here. Sorry, in the properties tab we have to click on, not the permissions tab. Not the permissions tab. Scroll down. Scroll down. Scroll down. Here, is there any access control list is there? Is there any access control list is there? The options which are mentioned? No. We have to choose the objects. Objects. Click on this one. Yes. We scroll down here. We scroll down here in the permissions tab. In the permissions tab, you have to scroll down here. You have to scroll down here. Here, access control list is there. We can click on edit option. We can click on edit option. Your bucket has to access everyone, whatever the bucket objects are there. If you want to visible the list, we can put the tick mark. They want to read, we have to put the tick mark. We have to put the tick mark. Scroll down, and then we have to put the tick mark for understanding. Put the tick mark for understanding. Authenticate users group. If you want to know the list out only, we can put the tick mark. We can put the tick mark. If you want to, your bucket has to give the permission to other AWS accounts also. Other AWS accounts also. For that, we have to choose access for other AWS accounts. We can choose add grantee. Here we have to enter other AWS account canonical ID we have to enter. Just now I am showing that how we have to take the canonical ID for other AWS account. If you know other AWS account canonical ID, only we have to enter. Only we have to enter. For other account, if you want to know the list of objects only, then we'll put the tick mark here. For the list of objects at bucket level, read and writing, then you will put the tick mark here. If you want to add another AWS account also, we can add the grantee. Add the grantee. If you want one more account, we can add it. If you want to remove the particular account canonical ID, we can remove this one. We can remove this one, right? Right now, I don't know other AWS account the canonical ID. That's why I'm not taken. I'm not taken. Click on Save Changes option. Click on Save Changes option. Click on Save Changes option. See that permissions overview. Access, it is showing in public. Access, it is showing in public. That is the access control list we had to apply at the object level and at the bucket level. And at the bucket level. Okay. That's over. That's the access control list. I want to remove the bucket. Select the object. Click on delete option. We can type permanently delete or copy and paste this one. Permanently delete. Paste it here. Click on delete objects. Click on delete objects. If you want to delete the bucket, select the bucket, delete. Delete. Here we have to type the bucket name. We have to type the bucket name. Delete bucket. Delete bucket. That's about the access control list. Access control list. Now we go for the another concept, the encryption. The another concept is the encryption. The encryption, I prepared the PPTs also for this one. For this one, encryption, encryption, here, here. With an increasing number of enterprises using public and hybrid cloud deployments, and while more sensitive data is stored in cloud service provider, whoever providing the services, that person is nothing but the provider. We are transfer the data, sensitive data, through cloud service provider, through cloud service provider. That's why we need more protection. We need more protection, right? For that, we are using the encryption technique. For that, we are using the encryption techniques we are using. Encryption we are using. Here, the AWS is supporting two types of encryptions. Two types of encryptions. One is one is SSE S3, SSE KMS, Key Management Service. Key Management Service. It is providing two types of encryptions. It is providing the two types of encryptions are providing. One is SSE S3, SSE KMS. SSE KMS. Now, SSE S3, the encryption using keys handled and managed by the Amazon S3. Managed by Amazon S3. It encrypts the key itself with root key that it regularly rotates. It's regularly rotates. The another type of the encryption is SSC KMS. KMS stands for Key Management Service. Key Management Service. It is similar to SSC S3 encryption type, but with some additional benefits are there. If we are using this encryption, we got the bill from the AWS. We got the bill from the AWS. If we are using the encryption type SSC KMS, Key Management Service, if we are using the encryption type, we are getting the bill from the AWS. We are getting the bill from the AWS. There are separate permissions for the use of KMS key that provides added protection against the unauthorized access for your objects in the Amazon S3. Amazon S3. The key management service uses the customer master keys to encrypt the S3 bucket also. They follow the procedure. If we are using SSC KMS, you got the bill. The default one it is showing SSC S3 is showing. SSC S3 is showing. Now, how we are providing the encryption process in the AWS, that's we have to see that. That's we have to see that in practically. Now, now I'm going to see the encryption also, bucket level and the object level. Bucket level and the object level. Bucket level and the object level. First I am creating the bucket. First I am creating the levels of encryption also. There are two levels, at the bucket level and at the object level. First I am creating the bucket. Bucket name I am given. This is the bucket name. Seshadri encryption I am given. Seshadri encryption I am given. Encryption I am given. I am creating the bucket in the Mumbai region. We have to enable ACLs is enabled. ACLs is enabled. And we have to give the public access permission. Put the tick mark for acknowledgement. Put the tick mark for acknowledgement. Scroll down. Click on create bucket. Click on create bucket. Click on create bucket. Here, you have to open the encryption. We have to open the bucket. You have to open the bucket. Right now, there is no objects are there. There is no objects are there. I am uploading the objects. Add files. I am adding the image. This image I am adding. Scroll down. I am given the permission. I am given the permission, that is grant public read access. Put the tick mark here. Put the tick mark here. Now go to the properties tab. Go to the properties tab. Scroll down. Scroll down. At the bottom, it is representing server-side encryption. Server-side encryption. Server-side encryption. We had to click on the second option, specify an encryption key. Specify an encryption key. See that? See that? Use bucket setting for default encryption. Use bucket setting for default encryption. Otherwise, we had to choose override bucket setting for default encryption. I am choosing the second option. I am apply the encryption at the object level. I am apply the encryption at the object level. That's why I am choosing override bucket setting for default encryption. I told that the encryption types, two types are there. Amazon supporting two types of encryptions, SSC S3, SSC S3, and the second type is SSC KMS. SSC KMS. If we are choosing the SSC KMS, you are getting the bill from the AWS. It is providing more features are also supported. The AWS S3, SSC S3, if we are choosing the encryption time, that the automatically it is taken. Now I am choosing this one. We can choose this one. Amazon SS3, we are not getting the bill. If you are choosing the SSC KMS, you got the bill. You got the bill, right? I am not choosing that one. I am not choosing that one. I am choosing this one. I am choosing this one. If you are choosing the SSC KMS, you need to enter AWS key, AWS KMS key ARN we have to enter. AWS KMS key ARN we have to enter. Now I am choosing this one. I am choosing this one. SSC S3. SSC S3 I am choosing. Click on that. The encryption is nothing but it is providing additional one more security. Additional layer of the security is providing. Click on upload objects. Click on upload objects. So this is the way to provide one more layer of security at the object level. One more layer of security at the object level. Now, how we had to provide the encryption at the bucket level? Till now, I am explaining encryption at the object level. Encryption at the object level. Now we have to discuss the encryption at bucket level. Bucket level. Now we have to open the bucket. You have to open your bucket. Go for the properties tab. Go for properties tab. Here, here, scroll down. Default encryption is there. Click on edit option. Click on edit option. See that encryption key type. Encryption key type. SSC S3. Amazon is supporting two types of encryption, two types of encryptions, SSC S3, SSC KMS. If you are chosen the SSC KMS, you got the bill from the AWS. You got the bill from the AWS if we are chosen this one. If we are chosen this, I have to choose from your AWS KMS keys. This option is also there. Available AWS KMS key we have to enter, and at the end we can click on save changes. We can click on save changes. I am not choosing the encryption type SSC KMS. If I am choosing the SSC KMS, I got the bill from the AWS. That's why I am not choosing. I am choosing the encryption at the bucket level also. SSC S3 I am chosen. See that here also disable or enable. Disable or enable. I am chosen the I am chosen the enable. I have to chosen the enable. I am chosen the enable option. Enable option I am chosen, and then click on save changes. Click on save changes. This is one more layer of security is provided at the bucket level. So this is about the encryption process. Encryption process at the object level and at the bucket level. And at the bucket level, the AWS is providing two types of encryptions. One is SSC S3, second one is SSC KMS, Key Management Service. If we are using SSC KMS, you got the bill from the AWS. That's why I am not using. Now I have to remove the object in the bucket. I can type it permanently delete. Permanently delete. copy and paste it here. Click on delete objects. Scroll. Open your bucket. I can select the bucket, delete. Here we have to type your bucket name, copy and paste it. Or we have to type it in the text box. Click on delete bucket. Click on delete bucket. Now, I have completed in this session, access control list and the encryption. Access control list and the encryption. Now, I'm going to explain the another concept, that is metadata and tags. Metadata and tags. This is the metadata and tags. Now, you'll see that the metadata and tags. Already I upload the PPTs. Metadata and tags. Metadata and tags. Here, the AWS metadata and tags. Metadata is nothing but what? It is used to provide more information about the object upload in the bucket. We are given more information. You are given the more information about the object uploading in the bucket. There are two types of metadata. One is system defined object metadata. Second one is user defined object metadata. There are two types of metadata. One is system defined object metadata. Second one is user defined object metadata. Now, system defined object metadata. Every object in a bucket has a set of system metadata which is proceeded by the S3, which is processed by S3, So system metadata has two categories, metadata and other system metadata. Two categories, system metadata. Metadata like object creation date, which is controlled by the system, and Amazon S3 has the ability to update its values also. Other system metadata like the stories class configured for an object and objects of enabled server-side encryption are the system metadata with values controlled by us. We have to use the category other system metadata. Other system metadata. Now, user-defined metadata. When uploading an object, we can also assign metadata to the object. We provide the optional information as name value, pair. When you send put or post request to create the object. Put or post request to create the object. Now, I have to show this one as practically. This one as practically. For that, I am creating the bucket. I had to upload the objects. I am given the permission for uploading object, public access. Public access. Now, I am doing that one. I am creating the bucket. Bucket name is my name. I am given Sheshadri. Metadata and tags. Metadata I am given. Sheshadri metadata I am given. The region, Mumbai region I am chosen. You have to enable ACLs is enabled. Scroll down. Make as public. Put the tick mark for acknowledgement. Scroll down. Here, the encryption can be provided at the creation of bucket level also. We have to give it, no problem. Click on create bucket. Bucket is created. I need to upload the objects. Upload, add file. I am uploading the images. Open, scroll down. I am given the permission, grant public read access. Put the tick mark here and then click on upload option. Click on upload option. Okay. If you have to open this one, copy and paste the object URL in the browser, you are getting the result is this one. You are getting the result is this one. You are getting the result is this one. Now, how to apply metadata and text? How to apply metadata and text? Here, in your bucket, you have to open the object. You have to open the object. Open the object. Here, we go for the properties tab. We go for properties tab. This is the properties tab, permissions tab, versions tab. We have to select the properties tab, scroll down. I have to select the properties tab, scroll down, scroll down. Here, metadata is there. Metadata is there. Click on edit option. Click on edit option. Click on edit option. System has already created one metadata. That is type is system defined. Key is content type. Value is image or JPEG image. JPEG image. Now I need to add one system defined metadata, one user defined metadata, one system defined metadata, and one user defined metadata. How I have to add the system defined metadata? There's the more information about the object in the uploaded object. I had to click on add metadata. Add metadata. We had to choose the content type is, we had to choose metadata at the system defined and the user defined. I am chosen the system defined. System defined. I am chosen the key. I am chosen the key. I am chosen content language. I am chosen. Anyone we have to give it. Content language I am chosen. Value I am given as English. I am given value. I am given English. That is one system defined metadata I am adding. One system defined metadata I am adding. Now I need to add. I need to add the user defined metadata. Click on add metadata. Click on this option. Now I am chosen user defined. Here we had to choose the key AMZ meta. We had to give that the team we had to give. Anyone had to give the name. Team I am given. I am given the Indian team I am given. Indian team I am given. Scroll down. Scroll down. Here, click on save changes. Click on save changes. Now, see the object. See the object, the metadata. See here, system defined. Content language English, system defined, content type is image or JPEG, user defined, this is it is showing. That is to add more information about the object, we are using metadata we are using. We are using the metadata. Now, the another concept is also there. Here we are discussed metadata and tags. Metadata and tags. Here we have to open your bucket and open the object, whatever you are uploaded, whatever you are uploaded. Here, the tags, why we are using the tags? That is, we use object tagging to categorize the storage. To categorize the storage, it will show the billing where we can easily track for which purpose we are getting the bill. For that, we are using the tags option. We are using the tags option. Where tags option is there? You have to open your image, select the properties tab, scroll down. Here tags option is there. Tags option is there. Click on edit option. Click on edit option. If you want to use tags, that is when you are getting the bill from the AWS, we are getting bill from the AWS. Why you are getting the bill from the AWS? Which objects you are uploading? We are uploading heavy objects, or we are for which type of heavy objects we are uploading. For that, for easily identification purpose, we are using the tags to categorize the storage. and easily identification purpose we are using the tags. We can click on add tags. We can click on add tags. We have to use the key is whatever for project purpose we are using. We have to use the key. We have to enter the name is project I am entering. Project I am entering. We are doing the project on AWS. Then we have to enter the AWS. Or we are doing the deep learning. We can enter it. And if you want to add one more tag, click on add tag. Now I am using the environment that is for testing purpose. Value we have to enter it. Scroll down, click on save changes. Click on save changes. Now we have to open your object in your bucket. In your bucket, scroll down. Here the tags which are representing. That is the more based on the tags we can categorize the storage. Why you are getting bill from the AWS for easily understanding purpose, we are using the tags. We are using the tags. That's about metadata on tags. That's about the metadata on tags. Now I need to delete the object and the bucket. Click on the object, delete. We can type it, permanently delete. We can type it, permanently delete. Copy and paste it here, delete object. Now open your bucket, select the bucket, delete. To delete the bucket, you have to type it in the text box, bucket name, or copy and paste it here. Delete bucket. Delete bucket. And also in this session, what is the another concept is there? Bucket policy. Bucket policy. That is the another concept. That is the another concept. You want to discuss the bucket policy. Bucket policy. Now, for this one, add to open bucket policy PPTs. Bucket policy PPTs. Here, you'll see that we can create and configure bucket policies to grant permission to your Amazon S3 resources. To your Amazon S3 resources. Bucket policies, we have to use JSON based access policy language we have to use. JSON based access policy language we have to use. It is only apply at the bucket level. It's only apply at the bucket level. Bucket policies creation whose job is AWS administrator job. AWS administrator job. It's the job of AWS administrator. How we have to apply the bucket policies. How we have to apply the bucket policies. Now we have to discuss. Now we have to discuss. First, I am going to create the bucket. I am creating the bucket. Bucket name is, I am given my name, Sheshadri. A bucket policy I am given. Bucket policy I am given the name. I am creating the bucket in Mumbai region. I enable ACL is enable. Remove this tick mark. Put the tick mark for acknowledgement. Put the tick mark for acknowledgement. Scroll down. Click on create bucket. Click on create bucket. Click on create bucket. Now open your bucket. There is no objects are there. I need to upload the objects. Choose upload option. Click on add files. Now I am adding the object. Click on open. Click on open. Now don't give public access to the object. Public access to the object. You don't give public access to the object, right? We can upload. We don't give the public access to the object. We can upload the objects. We can upload the access. We can upload the object. Now, open your bucket. Sorry, open your object. Copy and paste it. Copy and paste it in the new browser. In the new browser. We are not getting any result. We are not getting any result. See that we are getting the error. We are getting the error. Now, 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 open your bucket. Open your bucket. Go to the permissions tab. Go to the permissions tab. Go to the permissions tab. When you open the bucket, those many tabs are there. Object tab is there. Properties tab is there. Permissions tab is there. And metrics tab is there. Management tab is there. Access point tab is there. We can select the permissions tab. Permissions tab. Scroll down. Here bucket policy. Bucket policy is there. Bucket policy is there. Click on edit option. Click on edit option. Click on edit option. Now, now to enter the code, click on, we have to enter the code. Click on edit option. Click on edit option. Here, here we have to choose policy generator. Policy generator. Before that, I had to copy bucket ARN. We have to copy bucket ARN. We have to copy and paste it in the notepad. Bucket ARN. We have to copy and paste it in the notepad. We have to click on policy generator. When we click on the policy generator, this option is showing. This option is, this is showing policy generator. Policy generator. Here we had to select, we had to select the type, which type we had to select. The default SQS key policy is there. SQS key policy is there. We can select S3 bucket policy. S3 bucket policy. Scroll down. Scroll down. Second, we had to choose the effect is allow. Effect is allow. Select effect as allow and enter the principal is star mark. We have to enter star mark. You have to type it using the keyboard. Select all actions AWS service. Put the tick mark this one. Put the tick mark this one here. What is that? Here the star mark we have to enter. Star mark it have to enter means, it means to all the objects. It means to all the objects. And then we have to choose AWS service. AWS service all. This is not enabled. Why? Here effect we have to choose it allow. Effect we have to choose it allow. Principal as star mark we have to enter. Star mark we have to enter. This not enable. This is not enable. Right? Actions. Yes. Okay. Actions. Here you have to put the tick mark for all actions. You have to put the tick mark for all actions. Click on here. Here we have to enter Amazon resource name. ARN stands for Amazon resource name. Already I copy Amazon resource name. Amazon resource name. This is the ARN. This is the ARN. Copy and paste it. Copy and paste it here. Now click on add statement. Click on add statement. After that we are getting the result is this one. We are getting the result is this one. Now click on generate policy. If you don't know the JSON code format, we have to follow this one. Otherwise we can directly write it. Otherwise we can directly write it. Click on generate policy. Click on generate policy. You copy and paste it the JSON code. Copy it. Control C and paste it in the notepad first. Paste it in the notepad first. This is the JSON code. This is JSON code. Copy the code and paste it in the policy. Copy the code and paste it in the policy. This we have to copy it. This we have to copy it, and you can close this one. You can close this one. You have to open your bucket. Here in the policy, we can write the code. If you don't know the JSON code format, we can follow this procedure. We can follow this procedure. If you know the JSON code, then we can write the code. Then we can write the code. We can write the code, and then click on Save Changes. Click on Save Changes. Click on Save Changes. Now check your bucket. Check your bucket. That is permissions overview. What is the permissions overview? Public. Permissions overview is public. It is there. Public. It is there. Now check the object URL, and we are able to access the object image. And we are able to access the object image. Now, now, now we have to give. Now we have to give the permission at the object level. At the object level, we can give the permission. That is, we have to give it. We have to give it permissions, edit option, read, put the tick mark here, and save it. And save it. Now we can refresh this one. We can refresh this one. We are getting the result. We are getting the result. If you want to know more details about the bucket policy, we can click on this option. We can click on the link is this one. We are getting the more information about the policy. We are getting the more info. This is for sample purpose. I am given the code. Sample purpose. I am given the code. There is no more. I am not given any link. Okay. In this PPT. Okay. This is about bucket policy. All the steps I am given. It's the job of AWS administrator. First, we have to create the bucket. Select ACLs is enabled. I have to select ACLs is enabled. Give public access. Upload the object. Here I am not given first ACLs is enabled. If you want to doubt, we can do it in another one also. First, we can create the bucket. We can create the bucket. Bucket name I am given my name. My name. One I am given. One I am given. In the Mumbai region, I am chosen. And choose ACLs is enabled. All those steps I am given. That is, see that. See that. Select ACLs is enabled. Give public access. Upload the objects. Don't give public access to the object. Click on upload the object. Try to access the object. You copy and paste it, the object URL into the browser. We are not getting the result. Open our bucket. Go to the permissions tab. To enter the code, click on edit option. Right? Anyhow, we have to copy and paste the bucket ARN, Amazon resource name. We have to copy and paste it. Now, if you don't know the JSON code, we can click on policy generator. Select the type. Policy is S3 bucket policy. Select the effect as allow. Enter the principal star mark. It means to all the objects allowed. Select actions as all actions. Enter the bucket ARN forward by slash name. Forward by slash name. That's I am not given. That's why it is not showing. It's not showing. Again, I have to enable that one. Okay. I can create the bucket name. Click on the bucket name. This is the my name I am given. Sheshadri 1. Mumbai region I am chosen. ACLs is enabled. Scroll down. You can remove this one. Put the tick mark for acknowledgement. Scroll down. Click on bucket. Create bucket. Bucket is created. Open the bucket. Upload the object. I am uploading the object. This is the object I am chosen. Click on open. I am not given the permission for the public. Upload it. Upload it. Now, in this object, we have to open it. Copy and paste the object URL in the browser. In the browser, copy and paste it here. In the browser, we are not getting the result. We are getting the error message. We are getting the error message. Now, what we have to do? What we have to do? That is, Open our bucket, go to the permissions tab. Open our bucket, go to the permissions tab. Open your bucket, Sheshadri one, go to the permissions tab, go to the permissions tab, scroll down, bucket policy is there, click on edit option. To enter the code, we have to copy bucket ARN. This is the bucket ARN for this one. This is the bucket ARN for this one. Copy it, bucket ARN, and here you don't know the JSON code. That's why we can click on policy generator. Policy generator. Here, the steps which are there. First step, we can select the policy type, that is S3 bucket policy. Here, second step, add the statement, effect is allow. Here the principal is star mark. Principal is star mark. Actions, actions, we have to put the tick mark for all. Now we have to copy and paste it, the object ARN, bucket ARN, we have to copy and paste it. That is copy and paste the bucket bucket ARN, and followed by slash, forward slash and the star mark. This is followed by forward slash and the star mark. You have to copy and paste it. Earlier I am not given forward slash and star mark. This, okay. Scroll down, click on add statement. Click on add statement. Here the next step is generate policy. Generate the policy. You have to copy and paste it first in the notepad. First in the notepad, I have to copy and paste it. The same thing I copy and paste it in the code. In the code. In the code. There is no spaces are allowed. If we are given the spaces, we are getting the error. We are getting the error. Copy and paste it. Scroll down. Click on save changes. Click on save changes. Click on save changes. See that public access is given. Public access is given. You can open your bucket. Open your bucket. You can copy the object URL already copied. Already copied. Now refresh the browser. You are getting the result. To upload the object, I am not given the permission public access. Even though that by writing the bucket policy, we can enable using the JSON format. Using the JSON format. The bucket policy is AWS administrator role. AWS administrator role. Those are the steps we have to follow for bucket policy. The PPTs I am representing. Remember that after entering ARN, bucket ARN, at the last forward slash and the star mark. You have to use it. You have to use it. In earlier, I'm not using forward slash and star. That's why I'm not getting. Again, I have to open the object and I can enable the public access. I can refresh the browser. We are getting the result. That's not the procedure. I'm not using the bucket policy. I'm not using the bucket policy. That's why we can follow the steps. We can write the bucket policy. Okay. Any queries? Any queries? Raise your hands. Any queries? Raise your hands.